Hey guys, welcome back. I know it's been a while, but I couldn't pass up this opportunity to talk about the 2025 Data Breach Investigation Report from Verizon. This is also known as the DBIR? We're gonna call it the DBIR for short. But this report is all about cybersecurity in 2024 and how it affects the trends and how we move forward in 2025. I wanna let you know though, spoiler alert, ransomware is up. So that's kind of a bummer, but guess what? Payments for ransomware are down, and I'm super excited about that. I hope that it's because we all have really good backups and we don't have to worry about ransomware anymore. That would be a dream come true for me. So let's go ahead and talk about this report and how it can help influence your business and keep it secure as you move forward. My name is Josiah. I'm here to help you with your business and take away the stress of technology. I don't want you to worry at night. So if you ever want to schedule an initial consultation, you can always go over to our website and we're happy to meet with you, talk about your business and get things moving forward. Also, I'm training for Half Ironman. So if you want to talk about that in the comments, let me know. Now, back to the 2025 DBIR report. I just want you to know it analyzed 22,000 security incidents and more than 12,000 confirmed data breaches. While this is an exciting report, it's over 100 pages. So if you want to find something to fall asleep to at night, feel free to read it. It's actually a lot of fun. There's some good graphs in there, but it's a lot of data. So if you want to read it, it is in the link in the description below. While you're down there, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Say something in the comments. Check it out. But we do have 5 main areas that we want to cover. So those areas that I'm just going to tell you real quick is vulnerabilities. They're a problem. They just are. Security is not about trust. Something we say here a lot. It's not about who you trust. You just need to have good security. Be careful with your vendor selection. Update your websites. And just so you know, AI is being used. Those are the 5 areas that we're going to talk about today. So let's go ahead and jump into our first area, vulnerabilities. First of all, what is a vulnerability? So I'm going to read this definition to you. It's the quality or state of being exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed either physically or emotionally. Now, while I don't think computers can be harmed emotionally, unless that's why it stops working when I start banging on my keyboard because I'm so frustrated because nothing's working, sometimes I think they're emotionally damaged. But we all know, as of now, computers can't be emotionally damaged. So what we talk about with a vulnerability in a technical device is a state where something like a security risk or a known threat has been released to the world, and it says, hey, this is a vulnerability, something that somebody can breach or attack, giving you exposure. When a vulnerability happens, people go out and they do the patches. Those patches go through a process, they get approved, they get sent out to you, the vulnerability gets released, and it takes about 32 days on average for people to put that vulnerability fix in place. So to sum up this whole section, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail, but do the update. Don't wait. Make sure it happens. Now, I know you don't like doing the update, restarting your computer in the middle of the day. It is very annoying. I understand that. But exploitations through vulnerabilities grew by 34% compared to last year, and it makes up 20% of all breaches. So just make sure that you're doing that update. Make sure you're moving forward. This is also really important because it talks about perimeter devices. What is a perimeter device? Could it be your doorbell camera? Could it be your garage door opener, a TV? Could it be any of those smart devices you have around your home? Do you update those? So we're not just talking about, hey, you need to update your computer. While I know that's the main source of subject we're talking about here, you have to also remember that you have to update switches and firewalls and access points, all of your smart devices. It can get overwhelming. And this is why it's so important, and PCI compliance actually started requiring this, that you check a box that says, I am doing vulnerability scans on my network. At Next Tech Consultants, we do offer vulnerability scanning, And we can go more into that in a video later, but make sure that you're using a service to do vulnerability scanning if you're in a business. It is very important to make sure you're seeing those and you're patching them. Like I said earlier, to wrap up this section, just make sure you're doing the updates to get rid of those vulnerabilities and secure your devices. Now, let's move into the next section that I told you we're going to cover is security is not about trust. I know it's hard to tell your coworkers, your family, your friends, your grandma no when they ask for a password, or like, oh, it'd just be so much easier. Can I have your code to get into this? Yes, I understand it's easier, but please just don't do it. Security is not about trust. I trust a lot of people. I like to use this example. I trust my kids. I trust my wife. I trust the people that normally come into my house. If I were to leave $100 bill on the counter in the open, do you think it would still be there after a day, a week, a month? How long until it disappears? I think it'd be gone at some point. I don't know when, but either maybe I took it and forgot and then start blaming other people. But also, if that $100 is sitting there and nobody's watching it, where's the accountability? When people don't have accountability, they will do things they don't normally do in public. So make sure that there's accountability processes in place and you're only giving trust to people that need access. So you're not just trusting them because you feel like they're a good person. It's called a zero trust environment, which means you are confirming their identity by a password, MFA, or something to confirm they are who they say they are. And you're only giving them access to what they need to have access to for their job. This becomes really important. Also, in our last thing we're going to talk about AI, is you don't want people to be over permissioned so they can do something, because even the person with the best intentions can make a mistake. So as you're moving forward in your business and you're starting to think about all the different ways that you need to protect it, remember, security is not about trust. In the report, Verizon even told us that 60% of breaches have some form of human involvement. So while I understand, yes, you might trust somebody, but why give them that chance to accidentally make a mistake? Which ties into social engineering. Social engineering took up 18% of data breaches. What that means is, hey, I'm going to spend some time, I'm going to communicate with you, get to know you, and then I'm going to ask you questions like, hey, what was your first pet's name? Or, oh, what was your mother's maiden name? Those are questions that you're going to be asking security questions. So you're asking questions, you're getting information out of people, or we've become friends. So I start asking you about the customers you support or the clients in your business. That is information that gets fed by social engineering, and giving that to people is something that you need to train your staff on and make sure they're not doing. So zero trust environment. Make sure people don't have access to what they shouldn't have access to. So now we're going to move into the next one, which is be careful with your vendor selection. We all remember that day when all of the planes were grounded and you couldn't really do much because CrowdStrike sent out an update and crashed a bunch of computers. That was unfortunate. They've become a lot better now. So hopefully that's taken care of. No vendor is perfect. But this goes back into our zero trust idea where you want to be able to trust your vendor, but you don't want to give them blind trust. So make sure you're checking in on your vendors and make sure they're doing processes like updates. Are they security focused? Are they doing things to benefit you in terms of security? And just ask a few questions like, hey, when's the last time you guys sent out a patch? When's the last time something went wrong in your company and you had to fix it? Just get examples like that so you can have the information you needed. In the report, Verizon told us that vendor related or third party related incidents grew from 15% to 30% of breaches. So that is becoming a bigger problem, and you just need to be careful with who you're selecting. Now, yes, at Next Tech Consultants, we are a vendor. And so I'm aware of what I'm saying, but also it goes into you don't just trust somebody because they say they're doing something. At Next Tech, we've gone through different certifications with companies. We actually prove to a company called Spectra that says, hey, we are doing these things. We are making sure that our security policies are in place, not only for us, but also all of our clients. So it is a third-party check that we use, and we give them not client information, but we give them information about how we protect each customer. And so it's really important that you, when you're searching for somebody like Next Tech Consultants or another vendor, ask them those questions. How are you keeping our stuff safe? And can you prove it? Are you certified by a third-party company? Make sure you're asking those questions. All right, now I know that was 2 sections on a lot of different people and places and who to check, but this next one goes kind of back to our first topic about updates, but the next one is update your website. Data breaches from websites, basic websites, have grown and take up about 18% of breaches that happen. Now, what's really important with this is when you do your website, you store a lot of information on your website. So do you require strong passwords? Do you have MFA set up? If you can't have MFA set up, do you rotate through your passwords? You should have MFA set up though. Like if you're using a website and you can't get some sort of multi-factor authentication in there, you should be able to do that. So maybe think about going somewhere else, or think about how do we make our website secure, because we store information there. We also, customers come there, and when you go to a website, if it becomes insecure, things can happen on our clients' computers that we don't want to have happen. So make sure you're updating your website, make sure you're in a good hosting platform. And if you're with either WordPress, make sure the person hosting your site is hosting it securely, keeping it up to date. Whose responsibility actually is that? Are you supposed to keep it up to date, or do they? So these are all questions that you need to be thinking about as a business, or hiring a company like Next Tech Consultants or a different company that gives you those answers or takes care of that stuff for you. Now, with all that being said, our last topic, we're going back in AI, guys. AI is being used. Now, they say that routinely, the Verizon report says that routinely 15% of your employees or of employees are accessing AI routinely. That means often. They're putting data in there, generative AI. They're putting data in there. They're saying, hey, make this post for me, make this policy for me, make this update for me. How to teach me about this? They're using it and they're putting information in. Now, with generative AI, you need to ask yourself, is that AI safe for information from my company? You need to have policies in place to say, how are we using AI? If you're using free AI, should you be able to put in certain data or no data? Are you cutting that off completely? And what are you doing in your business to make sure that as you grow, because you do need to use AI, everybody's going to start using it. So as you grow, do you have data protection policies in place? Are we in a zero trust environment where if I use AI, like Copilot is a really good example. If you're using Copilot in your business and it's not set up properly with the proper permissions in SharePoint, somebody can get to files that they shouldn't. And using AI, you'll find those files much quicker, or even on accident if you just write the wrong question into the script. So make sure that you have a good policy in place and that you have good permissions set up so people can't access what they don't need to. AI is something that is coming. I think that you need to start using it and figure out how it's going to help you in your business. It's going to be big, but we don't know exactly what it's going to be. So just make sure you're staying on top of it. You have good policies in place and good security parameters in place, and know what it's being used for. Guys, I know that was a lot of information. This was a 110-page report. I tried to take out the 5 biggest topics, bring that to you. I hope it was helpful and helped you think about your business and how you can secure it and move forward in the future and not worry about things. Now, since you're still here, obviously you like the video, you like the content. If you could give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. It really does help us create more content like this so we can help support your business. Thank you guys so much for sticking around, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Hopefully sooner than this last round. It took a little while to get to the next one. Hopefully this time, we'll see you soon.